Imagine this, walking into work tomorrow and noticing something strange. Your boss suddenly treats you with respect. Your boss, the person who usually overlooks your contributions or piles on extra work without a second thought, actually stops what they are doing to acknowledge your presence with genuine, high-level respect. It isn't just a polite nod. It is a shift in the power dynamic that places you as an indispensable asset rather than a replaceable employee. Most people spend decades chasing this feeling, trying to work harder, stay later, or say yes to every single demand, only to find themselves more exhausted and less respected than when they started. But what if I told you there is one specific psychological move that changes everything instantly and resets the entire relationship? Before we dive into the exact mechanics of this shift, I have to tell you about a hidden psychological trigger called the respect threshold that almost nobody in the corporate world understands. If you miss this one detail, all your hard work actually makes your boss respect you less, not more, creating a cycle of invisibility that is almost impossible to break. I will reveal exactly what that threshold is and how to cross it toward the end of this video. But first, we need to talk about why your current strategy is likely failing you. Here at Intelevo Mind, we study the silent signals that dictate human hierarchy, and today we are going to deconstruct the myth of the hard-working martyr. You see, respect isn't earned by doing more work. It is earned by how you manage the perception of your value and your time.
The biggest mistake most employees make is thinking that being nice and available is the fastest route to professional admiration. In reality, being too available signals to your boss's subconscious that your time is not valuable. Think about it. If a resource is infinite and always accessible, its perceived price drops to zero. When you answer emails at 10 p.m. or jump on every quick task without questioning it, you aren't showing dedication. You are showing that you have no boundaries. This lack of boundaries is the ultimate respect killer because it tells your superior that your priorities are secondary to theirs. To fix this, you don't need to become aggressive or rude. You simply need to master the art of the strategic pivot. This is the first step in reclaiming your professional identity and forcing those above you to see you as a peer.
Now, let's get to the one thing you need to do to change the game forever. It is called the Ownership Audit. This isn't just about doing your job. It's about taking total psychological ownership of a specific problem your boss doesn't even know how to solve yet. Respect is born from the relief you provide to those in power. If you can identify a bottleneck in your department and present a fully formed three-step solution before you are ever asked to look at it, the dynamic shifts instantly. You move from being a task taker to a problem solver. When you present this, you aren't asking for permission or looking for a pat on the back. You are informing them of a new reality that you have created. This single act of proactive leadership creates a psychological halo effect that covers everything else you do.
To execute this ownership audit correctly, you have to watch for the things your boss complains about the most during casual conversations. Is it the lack of communication between departments, the slow turnaround on reports, or perhaps a recurring technical glitch? Instead of nodding along, go back to your desk and build a protocol. This is a tangible document or a workflow that fixes that specific headache once and for all. When you bring it to them, your language must be precise. Don't say, "I thought I'd try to help." Instead say, "I've identified a recurring inefficiency and implemented a framework to eliminate it." This subtle shift in phrasing uses what psychologists call high status linguistics. It positions you as an authority figure who is contributing to the overall health of the organization, making it virtually impossible for your boss to ignore you. You might be thinking that your boss is too stubborn or too arrogant to notice these changes, but that is where the mirroring respect technique comes into play. Human beings are biologically wired to mirror the behavior of those they interact with most frequently. If you treat your own time with immense respect, others have no choice but to follow suit eventually. This means setting clear communication windows and sticking to them. If you tell your boss you are unavailable between 2 and 4 to focus on high-level strategy and you actually remain unavailable, you are teaching them how to value your focus. It creates a scarcity of your attention, and scarcity always breeds desire and respect. When you finally do speak with them, your presence carries more weight, because it is no longer a constant background noise in their day. Let's look at a real-world scenario of a junior analyst who felt invisible in a massive firm. He was the first to arrive and the last to leave, yet his boss barely knew his name or his face. One day, he stopped trying to be the hardest worker and instead focused on being the most insightful. He noticed the executive team was struggling with a specific data visualization problem. Over a weekend, he built a dashboard that simplified their entire quarterly review process. He didn't ask to present it. He simply sent a brief, confident email stating that the dashboard was live and ready for use. By Monday morning, his boss was at his desk, not to give him more work, but to ask for his opinion on the next big project. He did this one thing once, and it completely reset his professional trajectory.
Now, remember that respect threshold I mentioned at the start? It is the point where your boss realizes you are more valuable to them as a partner than as a tool. The secret to crossing this threshold is understanding that your boss is actually afraid of losing you. Most employees work from a place of fear of being fired or criticized. But the most respected people in any room work from a place of positive indifference. This means you are so confident in the value you provide that you aren't desperate for their approval. When you stop seeking their validation, you ironically receive more of it than you ever thought possible. Once they sense that you know your worth and that you could take your talents elsewhere, their behavior will shift from oversight to collaboration almost overnight. Implementing this strategy isn't about arrogance. It is about the radical self-respect that allows you to thrive in any environment. When you take ownership, set boundaries, and cross that respect threshold, you aren't just improving your job, you are improving your life. You spend most of your waking hours at work, so why spend them feeling undervalued or ignored? Start today by identifying that one problem you can own and solve. If you found this guide helpful and you're ready to take control of your professional destiny, make sure to join the top 1% of thinkers who are actually taking action. By subscribing to Intelevo Mind, you are choosing to stop being a spectator in your own career and starting the journey toward true influence. Click that button if you're ready to be heard.